someone saying it later. Anyways, Beast Yeast.
Beast Yeast.
Very satisfying two players to say and to watch. Honestly, it's in their respective regions, they are known for the same thing. These guys love push-in buttons.
Yeah.
They love the A button.
Yeah.
And I love that for them. You know, it's really exciting to see two of these titans, you know, that are reveled for their aggression of their play style. Like Yeast opting for those a lot of those really early thropper kills and playing off these platforms, and Beast and going a lot of his nonsense at the ledge with Squirtle combos into finding incredibly early stocks with Charizard. Seeing them face off on Battlefield of all stages, we're about to get silly.
Yeah, this is a dangerous stage to go to, especially because Yeast's general kit is always centered about, I want to play at the range 0 to 1.
Yeah.
And represent Nair, represent falling up air. I want to combo into my neutral special, which is the rapid punch, rather than the shot put usually used for closing the gap, because he doesn't want to mess with tossing an item. He just want to make sure that things are always happening. Unfortunately for Yeast here, Beast has been representing a whole lot more in Squirtle and Ivysaur before this Charizard has come out stock 2, because this is where Beast wants to play this matchup. If you want to go toe for toe with frame data, it's hard to beat Squirtle.
How do you get away from an angry man who's constantly throwing his fists up? You go under the fist, keep yourself low to the ground, and then you catch a jump like that with Ivysaur. Beast is playing extremely consistent right now. Whenever he gets advice, it's like, dude, just play Squirtle more. What are you doing, man? And he's doing a perfect job right now.
You're trying to go under something, a tiny turtle usually gets there.
Back. Oh, get out of there.
Yeah, try for the reset on the top platform. Waterfall out of shield, heavily disjointed as well, can really stop approaches. Maybe not stop approaches from behind, but we get there. The Ivysaur coming out.
Playing this set fantastically so far. Air dodging into avoid. There comes the up throw. I can opt opting for the Vine, but getting a little aggressive there. Had to catch some DI out. Up air coming out into a Vine to catch DI out there. Going super high. Almost catches that flip jump, but not going to close it out just yet. Going to catch the down air. Firm. Nice DI from Yeast to avoid the follow-up there, but not going to find a Thrupper anywhere just yet. We switch to Charizard here. We aren't, and we're not going to lose this Thrupper. Great DI from Beast. Going to catch the DI out with the back air. And immediately catch a jump in there with a forward air.
Yeah, almost immediately trying to end this stock, but you're not sticking on Charizard. It's not worth trying to risk the Charizard big body extending combos when you have the chance to maybe just find a tech chase with Squirtle or keep playing the game that works. It's important to not over-adapt just because you're in a very positive scenario. Squirtle's got his own fair share of kill options, and back throw's certainly one of them.
One of the strangest myths of these multi-character characters in this game, from Pokemon Trainer and applies to Pyra and Mythra, where it's like, oh, this is my fast character, this is my Squirtle, where I get all my damage on, and I switch to Charizard to kill. I think in reality, you don't need to switch to Charizard to kill.
No.
Squirtle kills pretty damn simply. Again, not as early as Charizard, but you don't need to. Around 130, 140, you find a back throw, you find the back airs, you find something like an up air conversion into a waterfall thing of the sort. Squirtle is a pretty damn good character. As long as you're not underrating him and staying confident in your Squirtle game plan, it works out.
Yeah, the Pokemon Trainer functions differently from a Pyra and Mythra, where Pyra has her Pyra has better spots where you want to exemplify those strengths. Meanwhile, all three Pokemon are pretty well-rounded, have key weaknesses, but also very powerful strengths. Unfortunately for Beast, playing on this top platform is not Squirtle's strength. You need to stick away from the early kill potential that Yeast has at his disposal, trying to find the fly. Yeast read that Beast would try to cheese him, so he found the finisher because of it.
Yeah, takes one to know one, bro.
A little bit, yeah.
And
these two have played a fair bit.
Yeah, honestly, definitely know all the shenanigans that go into this matchup. And now Yeast in this game number 2 doing a good job of representing these options where catching Squirtle and opting for more of these options that catch lower to the ground, whether it's the short hop nairs, opting something like the back air low, and then when you're catching running in, finally going getting tired of it, then you're gonna finally find that up tilt on Squirtle, and you're at 105, and Beast finally switch away from the Squirtle, getting one lingering hit from Brawler will definitely do at this point.
Yeah,
careful there.
Oh,
okay. Nice.
The tether cancel for the turnaround, saving the double jump the entire way. Beast finding that key up air. And at 112, this is where the Charizard can come out and actually linger for a little bit. Not many combos except for out of falling up air. but he finds that up tilt is the other one, and Yeast is a up tilt merchant. Yeah, I was trying to find the right word. Merchant is a good one.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's working out in spades so far. Again, catching a Squirtle, getting over aggressive, recognizing that Beast is getting a little tired of being walled out. And like, you know what? Just keep putting that wall up. If it's gonna keep working, like the very non-committal option, especially at Squirtle around 60%, where like any lingering pickup from Sweetwater at this point could do it with the Thrupper. As I say that, trying to catch him. Nice air dodge to barely avoid that up air. Opting away from Squirtle, like a little too scared at this point, and is like looking to play more of that mid-range and avoid the nonsense there from this Brawler. Back to ledge. Don't overextend just yet. He's on the prowl if we're going to find it, and the Thrupper is most definitely going to close it out from the top platform, and brings us to a game number 3.
Yeast's me Brawler always cracks me up because he uses up tilt like many me Brawlers use Nair, where if you consider the ground typically or on a platform when you are grounded as when most characters are at their safest.
Yeah.
Because you have access to shield, you have access to spot dodge, and you have access to roll. These are generally really good things. Well, if you jump Nair, that leaves you open to being anti-aired and having a potential weakness or a bad trade or something going wrong. But if you're just running around on the ground and up tilting, you are playing with timings in a little bit more of a effective, non-reactionary way. And then you can flex all the other stuff once your opponent starts to realize that, hey, this guy's playing really, really grounded. I need to be careful of things like up tilt and dash attack rather than Nair, and turn those air-to-airs back into your favor as your opponent initiates them.
I think that also feeds into the idea behind the Smashball pick here, with a lot less of the preemptive option, more just like we're straight up duking it out. He's recognizing that early on, gonna find that really good pickup there with the Ivysaur, barely avoiding that grab with the Charizard switch. And again, it's the aggression working out in space where now even when you're throwing out those up tilts, you have a lot more like lot less space to like represent that, you know, and like the Squirtle can find a lot more pressure off of like F tilts. Charizard can find a lot more off of those disjoints. The mid range is the only range here.
And that's the range Charizard wants to stay at. Meanwhile, Beast wants to be a little bit more forward, tries for that falling there, looking for any amount of conversions that he can get. Parry on the back air that would have maybe taken the stock. Charizard is rather heavy. Definitely doesn't from full screen though, and at 34%, Beast still trying to make Beast work for it. 50% though, every little bit helps, but the up smash out of shield calls out the rising aerial, or reacts to it rather, and at the very least sets up yet again for this very, very tight-knit game.
Able to swat away that down coming out from Yeast again, opting for that down air, recognizing once more Yeast is looking to cover the space from the ledge with those up tilts, but Beast is already comfortable right now catching those jump ins, catching those air dodges. Squirtle is finally in the zone, defines, especially at 110 on Smashville. There's one conversion like that, recognizing finally Yeast wants to force his way back in. He's like, already, I've got this covered. You overextend here, and I've got your stock list like that.
Yeast always looking for the counter punch, and Beast beats him to it. The flip jump to get by, using Water Gun in order to create some space, and oh man, early percent Squirtle combo, 27%, but every little bit matters. Trying to read the spot dodge too. Beast is really on point when playing around exactly Yeast's circulation of offensive and defensive options. He's calling out every spot dodge, every roll, and every counter attack.
Well, there we go. Waiting for Beast to find the landing gear out of the shield. They're going to finally find the pickup there, Nair into the back air. Last stock scenario here on Smash Up. Both these very explosive characters is not over just yet. Dash attack out of the corner. This Ivysaur looking to force situation early on. So as well, 43%. Nobody's business, but gonna find the forward air. Not gonna opt for the Vine Whip. We've seen so many times before Beast would go for the forward air or the back air into the Vine Whip to catch DI out. In that last scenario, mixing it up with the up air, closes it out at 100%. Very good mix of there from Beast, and finds it 2-1 over Yeast.
That was Beast the PT player, not Beast the Charizard player. I'm super big fan of that.
Very well said.
We saw the Squirtle.
That's not Bizarre.
That's not Bizarre.
That's Beast PT.
That's Beast PT. And it looked good. The Squirtle poking and utilizing the short hop movement to play at effective ranges.
Yeah.
Poking with things like forward tilt and then mixing in down airs or nairs to linger that extra bit of time. Not always scouting to go with those rising aerials, but using them as a mix-up. Then the Ivysaur we didn't see any of the classic Ivysaur trappings that can get you punished. Things like sporadic nairs or overuse of up air or, as you called out at the very end, misuse of finishers, going for Vine Whip when it won't sweet spot as opposed to just trying to shark with up airs. We saw none of those. We saw none of the classic trappings that can stop PT players from reaching that next level. It was refined Squirtle play. It was a disciplined Ivysaur, and it was a sprinkling of effective Charizard.
It's something I mentioned earlier on in the set where it's like PT players too often put themselves into a box and limit themselves, where it's like Squirtle is the early game tiny boy, finds the ladder combos, finds like 60%. When I get to 50%, I get off of Squirtle. I go to Ivysaur. This is the mid-range where I throw out my projectile and I fish for Nair and Bear, and I'll close out with a Vine Whip. Get higher than that, then I'll go to Charizard. Big disjoints, big aerials, big finishing blows, heavier guy. And that's all they think about. Beast recognizing that there's so much more minutia to these characters, so much of Squirtle kill potential. There's so much with Ivysaur mix-up potential, Ivysaur aggressive potential, of Charizard just kind of like being there as like often like a ledge mix-up or something like Squirtle would often be the option. It's like having that in mind and thinking the freedom of how you're playing these characters is like opens up so many different avenues to do so much more on a character like Pokemon Trainer.
Yeah, every Pokemon is very well-rounded. It's just a matter of putting yourself in the position where each Pokemon is at their best, or more often, just knowing where to play PT, knowing how to react with each Pokemon in all positions. You have to be flexible, and staying flexible oftentimes nets you the best reward as a PT player, which is not something that a character like me Brawler tests.
Yeah.
Even if they are, even if like Squirtle and me Brawler have some similar attributes. Yeah. But we'll probably end up seeing Yeast on the Start GG and maybe even later in Losers if he manages to make a run. Each of these pools is rather contained as we feed into a top 16 here today. So Garden State looking pretty good.
Honestly, man, it's, again, it's just like the essence of the crossover. Every single set so far has been like
pretty good.
Players either like that are in the same region so they never play regardless, or it's like people that like you don't see too often, like shout out Colmar, you know, it's like people where it's like Garden Brawl, man, the vibes are here today. It's everybody meeting up, it's chilling out in this gymnasium, and they're making a great time. It's like it's a lot of the heart and the passion. It's a lot of things that like you don't typically see, like someone like Mercury playing Roy.
Yeah,
you know?
that was new. That was new. Maybe not new to Philly players, but new to me. So I appreciate it.
It is still semi-new. It doesn't. We knew it existed, but like it's now been like trained up as a back pocket for terrible Joker matchups. And Sonic being one of the Mercury does not like Joker Sonic whatsoever.